Welcome to Wine Library TV. I am your host, Gary Chuck, and this, my friends, is the Thunder Show, aka the internet's most passionate wine program. And as you can see, we have a guest here. Miles, you emailed me more than a year ago.
Yeah,
at this point, right?
I did, yeah.
I got a really fun email, and I will let him explain the story. I think you guys are going to enjoy this show. I sure am. Why don't you tell the Maniacs out there who you are and how you got here?
I play in a band called Fastball, and actually I was looking around on the internet because I was doing research for something, and I stumbled across your show.
But not wine.
I wasn't looking for wine, actually. I was, awesome. Believe it or not.
Were you looking for the Iron Sheik?
No.
Okay, just making sure.
No. I'm working on this show called Smell the Cork, and I was trying to figure out a way to. I was just looking for information, and I stumbled across your show, and I'm like, this guy's already doing it. This guy's already doing this show, and he's taped like 3,000 episodes, you know. So then I found you on Twitter, and I emailed you.
Yep.
And basically, I emailed Gary, and eventually Gary got back to me.
Like 100 years later.
Yeah, and then I saw you in Austin.
Yeah.
At his book release, which was
Thank you,
really
man.
exciting. Yeah.
I appreciate it. So, Miles, for the people, listen, there's a lot of people who are watching right now, you said it so nonchalantly because, unlike me, you're a very humble man. You guys had some pretty darn big hits with Fastball, man.
Yeah, we have a song called The Way that you know. If you don't know it,
it's a big thing.
should.
Can we play in the background, or we can get sued by everybody?
Who cares?
Yeah, awesome, cool.
I grant permission. I don't
awesome.
know.
All right, Ma, we're going to have to figure something out.
Yeah, we'll figure it out.
But, I mean, you had two big songs on that album.
Out of my head.
Right.
Yeah.
That was the same album, right? Or no?
Same
and so
album.
what year was that?
Oh, it was 1998.
Yeah, so that was, I remember it clearly. They're a little older.
A lot of people, everybody knows the songs and stuff. The songs are bigger or more famous than we are. Like nobody recognizes me, but if people go, then they go, oh,
you're
you
right.
sing that
song? You know
song?
what though? You're right. Those two songs were really, really big.
They are.
So tell me about let's start back before we get into Burgundy, which is what you decided to pick with K Murph, which I'm excited about and massively excited about tasting this because the flavor is incredible. Why don't you take us back first, because there's so many people that love music and musicians in who watch this show, because I see the comments. We always see it. Kermit made one little music reference. People went wild. Tell me about where did you grow up and how did you get into music, and then segue
I grew
into how you
up
got
in
into wine.
a little town. It's not so little anymore, but the town on the border called Laredo, Texas, in Texas. Mm-hmm. And I really got into music. Actually, I was in Catholic school, and we had to go to church on Friday as well as Sunday. But on Friday, the nuns would make us sing. Ironically, I didn't like to sing. I felt really, I felt really self-conscious. Mm-hmm. And I was like, God, this is such a drag. Is there any way to get out of this? And I noticed the guys in the choir and the band playing guitar, and they got to sit down through the whole mass, and they got to go to communion first.
Wait a minute. This all happened out of laziness and trying to get in the backdrop?
I realized the perks of showbiz early on. That's all I'm saying. They got to go to communion first. They didn't have to kneel or stand. They got to sit the whole time. And I was like, that's the job for me. That's
the gig.
Yeah. So I started taking guitar lessons.
Mm-hmm. How old were you at this point?
I was 11. And then I actually got bored with the guitar, and it was sitting in my closet. My older brother came home. I didn't realize the chords I was using to play the Masses Ended and Alleluia and stuff were the same chords you could play Stairway to Heaven and Band on the Run and all this music that was on the radio. And my brother just said, no, it's the same, watch. And he's just showing me the chords, and I was like,
oh my God.
Yeah, I was like, oh my God, this is awesome. And so that was it. I just kind of went from there. And also, I was a small kid at school, and people picked on me, and I didn't like it, and music was an escape. And then if the bullies knew you play guitar, suddenly you were cool. Suddenly it was like, oh no, this guy's all right, And I just saw it as this is the ticket, man. This is the ticket right here. And so I just started playing in bands, and I've been doing it ever since.
How many bands were you in before Fastball?
Man, that's a really good question. Probably 10, but there was only one serious one before we got a record deal when I was 22, and I thought, I'm on my way.
What was that called?
Big Car.
Big Car. Brilliant.
Yeah, and I'm like, I'm on my way, man.
And what happened there?
Oh, we put out a record, and they didn't promote it, and it was just a real education, I thought I'd had it made, and then suddenly
Came and went.
Well, the record came out, and it's all about promotion. If you put a record out and no one knows about it, no one can buy it. You know, there's records right now that are sitting in a shop that I don't know exist. So there's no way for me to buy them.
So what happened with that? You were in that band for a couple of years, and then
it flopped,
and
the band breaks up, and then that was the real test. Like, okay, now you're not so young anymore.
How old were you at this point?
26, 27.
So you were at the crossroads of, should I give up on this and become real, or then give it one more shot?
Exactly.
And you decided to give it one more shot.
Yep.
Good decision.
Yep, I did.
And did any of the people from Big Car, are they in Fastball?
Yeah, the drummer from Big Car.
Okay.
So what happened really, this is the funny part of the story. Okay, I was actually working at Chez Panisse in Berkeley as a busboy.
No kidding.
Yep, I got the job as a busboy, and I realized that if I put my nose to the grindstone and work that job, I could become a waiter and then a host. There were people there that were pulling down a lot of money just being a waiter. I realized, because it's a real family type organization. Yeah. So it's like, I could stay here and do this, but then I'm not playing music anymore professionally. Or I could quit this job, which is a pretty cool job. Even a busboy there, they feed you all day. It's
awesome.
It's amazing. So I was like, or I could...
Because they feed you. Right?
I'll tell you a quick story.
Go, I'm enjoying
this. This is
what wine's about.
This is actually a great story. I got the job at Chez Panisse because like 20 people quit or something crazy right before the holiday madness.
Right.
So they needed people. So the first
So they take anybody.
I've never worked in the food industry before, and I've never worked in the food industry since. But I walked in. They go, okay, first day, you're the busboy, right? You could go do. They just threw me the lines. I'd never done the job before. People screaming, yelling at me, "Where's my dishes?" You know,
had
like,
no idea.
It was like you know Jerry Lewis movie, and I'm running around, and I work my tail to the bone. Turns out they normally have 2 busboys on.
And you were doing the job.
Both of them on my first day. The end of the day, the last job I had to do was haul down all the trash and throw it in the dumpster. Mm-hmm. I haul it down and throw it in the trash. I throw the dumpster lid up. It comes sailing down, smacks me on my nose.
On the bridge of your nose.
Yeah, it didn't break it, but it
cut
it. Yeah.
Uh-huh.
I'm like, I'm done. My first day.
I'm out.
I go walk back in, and the first thing that happens is one of the people I work with goes, "Can I get you a beer?" Okay. And they go, "Now it's time for staff meal." And all the food that they've been serving all day is there, all laid out like a banquet, and you just serve yourself.
Nice.
I was done with that meal. It's like a religious experience. And the guy goes, "How was it?" I go, "I'll be back again tomorrow."
No.
I was about to quit. I was ready to quit. Like
as you're bleeding, but you're eating delicious food.
Yeah, I was like, this job just isn't for me. But the food, and that was it.
How long did you work there?
I worked there like 9 months.
Did you get into wine there?
Yeah. Oh, that's another fun. You're bringing out all the good stories.
Well, this is what I do.
This is good. All right. Check this out. The job nobody wanted was the wine room. Nobody wanted to work the wine room. Because you can't make tips. If you're on the floor...
Of course. Organization. No, cash.
You can't make tips.
Got it.
Everybody was there to make money.
Don't drink it yet.
Okay. Everybody was there to make money, but I didn't really care. I was kind of at this crossroads. I was happy I just had the job. But
you were happy for the food.
Right, exactly.
You were there for the food.
Yes.
This is great.
Okay, so then no one wants to work in the wine room, so...
You're like...
I'll do it. And so the wine room was downstairs. There's 2 restaurants. You've been there, right?
Yeah.
Upstairs is the cafe. It's more affordable. It's cheaper, more casual. Downstairs you need reservations. Hard to get in. It's fixed price menu. It's incredible. That's where I was. I was downstairs behind the kitchen in this little room. My only job was to... The ticker comes up. You find the wine, race it upstairs. And then if it's a white, you put another one in the cooler to cool it. If it's a red, that's the job. And you're getting paid. And so I'm reading books, I'm running wine, and then they go, "We want you to learn about the wine you're serving." So no, they go get a glass. So now I'm drinking wine, I'm reading books, and I'm going, I'm like, this is a job. And then the guy in the kitchen, the head chef, starts going, "Miles, are you hungry? Do you want a little?" And they start serving me the food from the front of the people
in this room.
Yeah.
As you're drinking, reading books, and just waiting for tickers to come in.
Yeah.
So you thought you pretty much made it.
I did. And by the way, if Alice Waters watches this or anything, thank you. And I'm sorry for the guy. Tell the guy in the wine room, keep an eye on him, because you don't know what he's doing.
Okay, so you do that. Then what? How does Fastball happen?
here's how it happened. Basically, over Christmas, I was flying home, feeling really depressed because I didn't know, my girlfriend broke up with my girlfriend.
Where are you flying from to?
Berkeley to Austin, Texas.
Mm-hmm.
Don't know what I'm gonna do. Should I stay at this job? Oh, my girlfriend, who I moved out there to be with in Berkeley, we're kaput now. So now we're done. So now I'm like, should I stay in Berkeley? Should I come home?
She broke up with you.
Yeah.
You're devastated.
Yes.
Oh,
yes.
man.
I'm a shell of a man. And and on the plane, I see Gregg Allman.
Oh, this is I'm so happy I went with this direction for this show.
This
Go
is
ahead.
Gregg Allman. So
Okay.
so you gotta understand, I'm a busboy. I'm sitting on the plane. I'm watching the lady that's the
Carding.
stewardess.
Yep.
I go, she's got the same job as me. She's basically in the sky, but she's got to do all this grunt work. Mm-hmm. And I'm like, this is hard, you know. I want to play music, and all of a sudden, like, oh, there's Gregg Allman, like there, and he's got long hair, like aviator sunglasses. He looks like a freak, you know. He's on the plane just like this, dude, and everyone else on the plane is sitting forward like this, and Gregg Allman is sitting talking to his buddies, leaning on the chair, and he comes walking down the aisle to go use the John, and our eyes meet. And I was sitting here, and there was no one sitting there, and our eyes meet, and I said, I just want to tell you I really love your music. And he goes, thanks, man, that's nice. He goes, hey, buddy. And he sits down next to me. So now he's sitting next to me, and I'm talking to him. And I just told him the whole story, kind of like, oh, man, I had this band, we had a record deal.
I'm sorry.
I just like opened a vein, you know.
Right.
And the band broke up.
Because what do you do when Gregg Allman's sitting next to you?
I go, I don't know what to do. He goes, hell, man, start another band. What are you waiting for? He goes, that's what I would do.
And that was it.
And I said, well, this is like a message from God. I mean, it's Gregg Allman telling me I should start another
honestly,
band.
no joke. On a side note, we need to talk off camera. This needs to be a movie. Because that scene alone is money.
Yeah, isn't that insane?
Insane. Okay, so he gets you all fired up.
He did.
He leaves. You get off the plane. You're like, I'm starting another band.
Actually, here's what happened.
Okay.
I decided before that, as a palate cleanser, quit my job at Chez Panisse. I had $2,000, $3,000 in my bank account saved. I said I'm going to go to Europe and just bounce around for a month and a half, 2 months, just see what happens. I'm just going to go
whatever
there.
happens.
Whatever happens. I'm going to play on the street. I'm going to busk on the street. I'm going to do whatever. Went to Europe, came back. I go, okay.
How was Europe?
It was incredible.
Did your wine love grow there?
Yeah, I didn't really get into wine till after Fastball.
Okay, no problem. Keep going. Keep going.
All right, so
The truth is better.
come back.
No, that would have been awesome.
Yeah, that would have been. Oh, actually, now I come back from Europe. Europe was just great because I realized things like, oh wow, so you realize all these artists who didn't even get started till they're 29 or 30. See, I was feeling kind of like I'm too old to play rock and roll.
I see. You thought you were over the hill.
Yeah.
And so Europe opened up your mind to, wait a minute, I'm a rookie.
Like you're never over the hill. If you have passion for what you do, you're never over
It's
the
a
hill.
great, great statement, period. Go ahead.
So I come back home, and then I say, all right, here's what I'm going to do. I'm either going to move to Europe, or I'm going to go back to Austin, start another band. Here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to book a round-trip plane ticket to Austin for 1 month. I'm going to see what I can get going in 1 month. and if nothing's happening after that month, I'm out, and I'm going to find a way to move to Europe. So I went home. I called up Joey from Big Car, like the first day I got home, and said, what's going on? I'm back in town. I'm looking to do something. He goes, I know just the guy. I got this guy who plays bass. You play guitar. He plays bass. I go, great. And that was Tony from Fastball. We rehearsed the next day.
The three of you.
In a room. And then I come home from rehearsal, and there's a message on the phone. It's like, you want to play a gig tomorrow? Got a gig tomorrow. I'm like, how did you do that? They're like, oh, this guy bailed out. I don't know. Somehow we got a gig. So I was in Austin 3 days. The third day we played our first show.
As Fastball?
Yeah.
Was that your
well,
first
we didn't
name?
have the no. We were called Magneto or so. I don't know what.
You mean from
So-
X-Men?
Yeah, and then it turns out there was a boy band called Magneto, like Menudo.
Got it.
So we had to change the name, but
This is amazing.
so yeah, we played our first gig.
And it went well.
3 days, yeah, and it was an instant.
felt right.
Yeah. And then, even crazier than that, this guy had some recording time that the guy that had won some recording time in a battle of the
Who did?
bands.
Some dude?
Some local dude.
That's amazing. Okay.
He didn't end up. He couldn't get it together to use it. He was like a real drunk or partier.
Right.
He didn't end up.
So he gave it to you guys.
The guy that had the contest said, "This guy's never going to use his recording time. You want it?" And it wasn't in Austin. It was up in Dallas. And we were like, "We want it."
And you guys went to Dallas.
And laid down 3 songs.
Just random 3 songs
that we'd written. Well, because we each had songs. Yeah. Actually, with a side note, when I started Fastball, I'm like, this is my band.
Right.
And I'm going to be the singer, and I'm going to be the star. And then I met Tony, and it became apparent really fast that there's got to be room for 2, because this guy's really good. And,
he was legit.
And I can't deny his talent.
Right.
So it became 2 singers at that point. But he had songs too, so we had enough songs to go do this thing. So basically, I got done with my month thing. I had 4 or 5 songs recorded. I had a band. I had gigs booked. I was like, it's a no-brainer. We're going back to Austin.
And so that's what you did.
And within a year, that little tape that we did at that thing got assigned to Hollywood Records. Because I met this guy, and he goes, my friend works at Hollywood. I didn't realize Hollywood was owned by Disney. I thought Hollywood was some little crummy label. So I gave him the tape, and the guy from Hollywood really liked it, and he wants to come down and see you play. And I'm like, great, Fleabag Records, send them on down.
Yeah, exactly.
I wasn't worried at all.
Right.
So I didn't feel nervous when they came to the gig. I was like,
you guys just crushed it.
I'm like, we killed it. I was like, well, these guys are nobody. Were they going to give us like,
$30?
Yeah, $10,000 to.
Right. And so next thing you know,
they're like, we want to sign you. And it went from there, and then they gave us a record deal, and it was like a pretty big record. Well, it wasn't that big, but by today's standards, it's huge. Right. The record industry's been leveled.
Yeah.
We had enough money to buy a van. The story gets even crazier. Do we have time for this?
Go. I love it.
We bought a van. We did our first record called Make Your Mama Proud. Put it out. Nobody bought it. They didn't promote it. It probably sold, I kid you not, 1,000 copies. We're in a van, beating our brains out, driving around. There's 20 people in the audience everywhere we go. We're just doing it. We should have been and would have been dropped. But the president of the label got fired. Now there's no one at the top running the show.
Doing anything.
So
you're there.
We're in limbo, kind of. We have another... our contract stated 1 record. And then if they can pick up the option to do 2 more. Our A&R guy goes, I think we could do another record. I'm going to ask the accountant, who's the sitting president, the kind of temporary president. The accountant knew he was going to get fired.
So he just did you a favor.
He goes, I don't care. Knock yourselves out.
Unbelievable.
He goes, knock yourselves out. I'm signing off.
Okay.
Signs the paperwork. Boom. Hey, funds approved. Let's do another record. Go out to Hollywood. Record the record. That record had the way. That record had Out of My Head. Tony wrote them.
Both.
Yeah.
The 2 big songs.
He did.
Good for him.
He did. And I actually had thought about quitting the band in the middle of all this, before the second record got approved, because I was moving in this different direction. Our first record was like 1, 2, 3, 4.
Right.
So I was like, I'm not into this anymore. I can't do this kind of music, and those guys aren't gonna get it. And then Tony played me Out of My Head, and I heard it, and I went, I can't quit this band now. That's
it.
I said that song is exactly what I want to do.
And that was it.
So then we recorded the record. Check this out. Recorded the record in August, in the summer of '97.
Yep.
No president. We sits in limbo from summer all the way to Christmas, all the way to... Basically, we didn't even know the record was going to come out. We didn't know who the president was going to be. We didn't know any of this stuff. And right around Christmas, I moved to LA because I'm not sure what's happening. Moved to LA. I'm driving around this little Honda Civic that keeps breaking down on the 405, and I think I'm gonna die. I'm always like,
yeah.
I have no money. I'm working as an extra out in Hollywood, and
this is amazing.
And all of a sudden, this guy from the label who also knows he's gonna get fired, radio guy goes, I need to work. They're gonna fire me, and he's a big time old school guy. He goes, give me something to work. What's this? Fastball, give me this. And he goes, he flies around the country and calls in favors and
to get it on the radio.
He goes, hey buddy,
just play this,
see what happens. The phones just blow up, right, all over every station and that was it. Yeah. And so I'm driving around my little car.
And you heard it?
Yeah. Well, they told me. It wasn't
Okay.
They're
You're
like, hey,
expecting it.
such and such added
Yep.
it, then such and such added it. So now, picture me in this car that keeps breaking down, and my song's on the radio, and it keeps coming on, and I was like, okay.
Something's happening.
Okay.
And then it just took off, huh? How long was the run? How long were you guys in that zone?
The run was about like 3 years, whatever. Here's the thing for all you kids out there wanting to play music. As hard as it is to make it, it's twice as hard to stay, okay?
Yeah.
So you got to really bust your... Once you're there and it's champagne and go-go girls, you better double up, buddy.
Because the Go-Go Girls take up a lot of time.
Go-Go girls, yeah. My quote was, the guy said, do you have any regrets? I go, do I wish I hadn't drank all the bourbon in Kentucky and stayed up all night with women who I can't recall their name? Yeah. But it was fun.
Amazing.
So, yeah, that's basically the trajectory.
And why did you get into wine?
I like wine because here's the thing. You could be in Tokyo, you could be in New York City, you could be in London. A glass of Jack Daniels is a glass of Jack Daniels. It tastes exactly the same. It's like Coca-Cola. But wine is this elusive creature that even the same producer, if it's a different year, it could be the same grape, but if it's a different year, it's going to be different. It's a treasure hunt. I also like that you could drink an $18 bottle that tastes like a $50 bottle.
How did you first get into wine?
Well, how did I? That's such a good question.
It just started being around?
It just started being, once I could afford to drink it, and I liked the treasure hunt
Some
aspect.
of the classier Go-Go Girls, you figured you might want to drink wine instead of bottled bourbon.
Instead of Lone Star. Yeah, and so then I just started to get into it, but I really like the treasure hunt aspect. I really like the dinner aspect, pairing it with food.
And you got into Burgundy. That's why we have 2 Burgundies here.
Well, I really fell for Burgundy. Like that's fairly recent development, but I've always loved Pinot Noir, but then I started to drink Burgundy, which is Pinot Noir, basically from France.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, and it felt earthier a bit dustier, a bit more kind of
grunge to it.
Yeah.
I like more complexity to it.
Yeah.
Deeper. Let's get into the first one.
All right.
Mott, let's zoom in here. This is a very small producer, Mogueret 08, Bourgogne, Appellation, Pinot Noir. But Nicolas Potel makes the wine. He's one of the great winemakers in the world. 18 bones, very small little Pinot Noir cuvee. Let's give it a sniffy sniff, Miles. See what you think.
Okay.
18 bones for Pinot from Burgundy is pretty interesting.
Yeah, I know, right? Because what
are you picking up on the nose? Interesting.
Strawberry?
Yeah, I'm getting some red fruit as well.
And that a little bit of that dirt.
Just the hair, right? A little spiciness too. I get like flowers and spice.
I get it kind of musty.
It is a little, it's really quite a pretty nose actually, for the price point. All right, let's give it a whirl.
It's dry.
It's very dry.
Yeah.
What do you think? Honestly, I didn't make the wine. And I can tell by your intuition here, so call it like you see it. What do you think? Taste it again. Taste it again.
It's okay. It isn't like completely knocking my socks off, but for $18, a Burgundy.
But it's entry level Bourgogne. What do you think?
It's pretty good, actually. I would be happy with that.
What's funny? Something interesting just happened. I was about to pan the crap out of this wine. I was going to really go at it.
Go ahead. Go.
No. But you know what happened? And I think it happened to you as well by your reaction. The second glass was much, much better.
Yeah.
I think this wine is so darn dry.
It's pretty dry, yeah.
That
it's bone dry.
By having nothing else, its initial attack, it's a little overwhelming, but then it kind of coats. But still, it's kind of awkward, kind of sharp, and kind of disjointed. All things that are kind of scary. So it's okay. I'm not in love with it. I don't mind the price, but I think it's lacking flavor, believe it or not. I think it's a little thin. It's a little watery for me.
This wine reminds me of the kind you pay up for at the restaurant, because they you go to the restaurant and what do you think this would be, $40, $50?
Yeah.
And then you order the $50 bottle and you're like,
I agree. Dried fruit, kind of awkward, off balance. I'm actually gonna pan it after all. I just think it's too watery and too. It almost tastes like the acidity is so high. I was gonna say lemon juice, but it doesn't taste like lemon juice. But the acid,
That's true.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
The acid is so high. I'm gonna score this wine an 78. I'm gonna score it a 78. It doesn't even get to the 8-0 range. I'm gonna give it a pass. I'm just not feeling it.
Me too. Here.
You got it.
I don't.
You know,
life's too short.
Yeah, to drink bad wine.
It is. If you can have good wine, it's definitely too short.
How does it feel now to hear? Do you catch the song on the radio or randomly in the background?
I hear it.
And what does that feel like to you? Memories? Is it that just like a quick flash of memories?
No, it just feels. I have a little pride about it. I almost feel disconnected from it. It's weird. It's like
another
me,
life.
It's me, but yeah. Well, that's the beauty of recording. I mean, that was maybe 3 days out of my life or something making that song.
Crazy.
Over 10 years ago, and it's like changed my entire life, and it's on all the time. It lives still.
It's crazy.
So
Domaine Ferrier, 2006, Gebre Chambertin, 91 points Wine Spectator, $60 US, brought in by Neil Rosenthal, who Kermit Lynch brought up the other day as his first importer.
How is old Kermit?
Well, we just had him on the show for the last 3 episodes prior.
He'd come into shape.
He used to shop, right, of course.
Yeah.
I mean, right, you guys were neighbors.
Right, yeah.
He had a great show the other day. We loved it.
Awesome.
For it, as we get into, we've been having a lot of fun on different subjects. I think you guys are going to love the stories. I think Miles has been great. I just want to focus on Fourier for a minute. This is one of the great Gebre Chambertin producers in the world, making very, very serious Pinot Noir. 60 bones. Believe it or not, when I looked at it, I was like, they've still been fairly under control price point wise. Top-notch Pinot Noir producer. 06, a very interesting Burgundy vintage to me. I've been pretty fond of it. Let's give it a snippy sniff. And right off the bat, you can just smell the difference.
Yeah, it's a bigger.
There's also some greenness coming through here. A little bit of like green peppers. Very, very, almost like kasha. Do you know what kasha is?
No.
It's like a grainy kind of thing. Has like a little bit of a kasha flavor. Ripe raspberries are coming through. Very pretty nose. Let's give it a whirl.
I mean, it's just a lot more going on. It's way more complex.
Absolutely.
It's dry as well.
But not as dry.
Not as dry.
It's also considerably fuller on the palate.
Yeah.
Really beautiful raspberries coming through, strawberries. Just gorgeous length on this wine.
Mm-hmm.
Depth. I'm in love with the leather kind of venison, meaty kind of thing. Almost like jerk chicken kind of thing going on in the mid-palate. Fantastic. I'm laughing because I just had jerk chicken. It's so funny how, like, when you eat something, it segues back in. I think Spectator nailed this. I would score this wine a 91-point wine. Fantastic Pinot Noir. And if you're looking to understand Burgundy, this is textbook. With the fruit, with the earthiness, but not too much. It's not going to stinkify too many people. It's not sheep and cow's ass. It's kind of a little more balance of the fruit. I like the greenness. I think it's pretty darn good.
It is pretty.
You enjoy it?
I would be really happy with this. This is a nice one.
How often would Kermit come into the restaurant?
I don't know. We had these different regulars, like oh God, what's that famous rock critic that lives out there would come in. Robin Williams would come in. Would Jackson Brown, people like that.
Would the restaurant get a buzz when those peeps would walk in?
Not really. Everybody was supposed to be cool, but I would.
You'd get
I'd be like Alice. I was there one time when she goes, Robin Williams coming in. She goes, don't drool, or something like that. She was real funny. She was
great.
Well, she would always say it's annoyed people I eat with to this day. She would say, eat a salad with your hands. It's more sensual.
Really?
It's
you eat salad with your hands now.
Sometimes. Yeah.
I do too, by the way, which is a weird thing.
It's awesome.
I pick at it. I don't go in there. I pick at it.
If a salad isn't good, I'll eat it with my hands because that'll make me want to eat it.
Is that right?
So if you get one of those crummy salads where they throw it, it comes with a meal and they throw it down and it's like just you can tell there's no.
Miles, thanks so much for being on the show.
Thank you
man.
for having me.
You get to ask the question of the day. Any question about music, wine, any question in the world that you have, you get to ask. The Vayner Nation gets to answer.
What is the best Bordeaux in your opinion for under $100? Or let's say under $70 to make it challenging.
You're a Bordeaux fan?
Yeah, I've become a francophile really with wine. There's great wine everywhere, but
The France is speaking to you.
well, yeah, I like the old world deal.
Yeah.
So
You, with a little bit of me, we're changing the wine world, whether they like it or not.